Welcome. Now we come to the conclusion of this whole series, and I would like to reflect on how was my experience in this last 3 months. What have I learned from the mistakes that I've made? What have I gained from this experience? And then I'll conclude with um, what's next for me and how we can stay in touch. So, first thing I realized was I was not well prepared. Yeah, I could have, especially with logistics, I could have been prepared well. So twice I took an interval in the retreat, to get the ration. I could have avoided that. And then a lot of my learning comes from what I've called restraints. Yeah, I think the practice of being lucid in the dream, achieving lucidity, doing this Wim Hof practice, it's quite advanced, and I think I was prematurely trying for it. Yeah, and that had affected the sleep and the routine. And I think it's very important to establish a routine that you can sustain. That's what although I've done that before, still I'm making the same mistakes. Yeah, and with regard to food, once again, I could have learned to do the one meal a day, and that would have simplified things much more. Yes, and especially with regard to sex, I realize all the things that I've done, is catching up with me, and I cannot get away from it. The only way for me to overcome that is to go deeply into my practices and to take refuge in rituals. With regard to Mula Yogas, I think they're very, very advanced practice. It's going to take years for me to explore them fully and have its impact on me. And I certainly intend to do that. Yes. I could have also done a lot of preparations in advance if I knew I was going to start this early. So that's just something that I've learned really from the mistakes that I've made, or in doing the things that I've done. Now let's take a look at things that I think I'm very happy with. You could say achievements. For me, I think the biggest thing was to establish this Mula Yogas within 4 or 5 weeks, and so firmly, and have some feeling for the practices and for the figures. So that, I think, is a big achievement for me. Not to say of all the practices that I took up, especially the sky gazing, the bardos, and the Satipatthana, which again, especially the Satipatthana and the bardos, also requires a lot of study in the background study. Yeah, and I've been especially happy because now in the course of this 3 months, also engaged in devotional practices, especially Bodhicharya and the Suvarna Puja, and that had perfumed my practices, and it's gradually and very subtly changing my outlook to life, pushing me towards the generation of the bodhicitta. Yeah, I can feel that. Yes, and with also the practice of general mindfulness was important to me, and I began to learn how the mind, plays game with me, how that trickster is trying to trick me, and I've learned to counteract its attack. Yeah, and I've been very successful at least toward the end, and I'm very happy with it. I'm especially happy that I've been able to establish the writing routine and able to reflect much and write, as a result of which you could see this series and the experiences that I've written about this retreat. Yeah, so all this makes me really, really very happy, especially being able to witness the wonders of nature, uh, the experience of the weather, the nature, the monsoon season, and I hope in future, in the next summer when I come here, some of you may be able to come and experience that too. I've done a lot of work here in this cave to make it comfortable, and two people can happily stay here and practice together. And there are also cottages and places um, that people could come and practice. So now let's turn to what's next for me. So I'm going to take a 2 weeks break to prepare for the winter retreat, and that begins in November and ends in May. For about 7 months, I hope to continue the Mula Yoga practices, but never know how things unfold. So if you'd like to hear from me once a month, I think I'd like to share my thoughts of how things are going. And yeah, so you'll have my email, my WhatsApp number in the description. You'll also have many photos and videos of this place, and the experiences that I've written. And yeah, and if you'd like to come, yeah, please do. If you can, do that. It's not easy, I think. And also, if you're engaging in these practices and would like to speak to me, still, yeah, do let me know. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do that when I begin the winter retreat, but I'll find a way to get in touch with you. Yes, at least I could. I think I can write. I suppose that's easier. But we'll see. I'm open to things. So, because I'm doing this not just for my sake, but I hope that whatever I do also have some impact on others, for those people who are also trying to do the same thing, so we can establish the communication and learn from each other. So that's my sincere hope. I hope you're listening to the series, you've gained something. I've certainly, in preparing it and reflecting on it, I've certainly learned a lot. So thank you. I hope to see you someday, and yeah, may you be well.